Art has been described as a tool that can be maximally utilized to tell the Nigerian story. It is believed that with art, the Nigerian story can be better told. These were the opinion of guests present at the showcase ceremony of the 1952 Africa Arts Accelerator Exhibition held in Lagos with the theme of the event, Identity, Who Are You? They said with art, the history of the country can be better curated, especially for future reference.
Art in its very nature is a sign of expression for a people. It tells about your history, your civilization, and the context in which the artist lived or contemplated. And so for us, it's about telling our story the positive way, and art has a positive impact on people.
According to the convener of the 1952 Africa Arts Accelerator Exhibition, Ejike Igboagu, the event is aimed at encouraging and giving young and talented artists a platform to be seen, heard, celebrated, and have their work showcased.
Art should be a viable career path for young Africans. Not everyone has to be a banker or a lawyer, accountant to have a good life. This is our own small part to play in making that possible and making art a viable career path for young Africans. Two, we believe that Africans don't need to be poor. African artists, rather, don't need to be poor. So we invest in creating the platforms that empower the artist to be able to create at his highest level and earn his highest return from his creations.
I think this is a drop in the bucket, but a really important one to actually give artists a space to create and a space to learn and a space to dig deep into their practice. So what happens is that normally outside of art school, artists don't really have the freedom to just create without having to think about the monetary sort of gains or without having to think about how to even fund their own practice. So what we have done is that we have really given them the space to do that. And this is really important for art because you really need breathing room where you can just put what you want to put on paper, on canvas, without having to worry about all the other things that come with trying to just make a living from your art.
Some of the artists who had their works on display share their experience and how the exhibition has impacted their career.
The 1952 Arts Accelerator wants to grow artists. Like they really want to take artists to a next level, a level where the artist will be heard, will be seen, and to appreciate talented artists. And for me, it means a whole lot. Like it means it feels like they are giving me what I've always wanted, like the space I've always wanted, the voice I've always wanted. So like I'm out there and people can see what I'm doing, like people can relate with the story I'm telling. So it means a big deal for me.
This journey so far has been so amazing because I could focus on myself as an artist, understand who I am as a person, and find myself like self-discovery. That's so far so good. The journey has been amazing.
Stakeholders also spoke on the economic benefits of the arts industry to states and communities. According to them, the industry promotes job creation, attracts investments, generates tax revenues, and stimulates local economies through tourism and consumer purchases.
In terms of the economy, art collection itself is a viable sustenance mode. And for people who collect, for some they collect for the beauty of it, for the investment value of it, or for just the promotion of something they identify with. Art doesn't have to have a meaning. Art needs to be appreciated.
It's obvious, art is huge. It's big, big, big business. And it's not just visual arts like what we've exhibited today. The arts, encompasses, Hollywood, Nollywood, the music space, fashion, and all of these things form multi-billion-dollar industries.
They urged parents to encourage their wards who are interested in taking up a career in the arts by starting them early in life.
In our time, we grew up, our parents said, no, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer, and if you're not, you're a failure. I don't think that's the case anymore. I run an organization full of young people, called Moneda Invest, and these young people can't necessarily be told what to do, and I think that guardians and parents know this already. This generation is bursting with creativity. They are not interested in 9-to-5s. They are interested in what they have, what they were born with, and their ideas. And technology has made it very possible for the ideas to turn to cash. So I don't think the challenge is necessarily, the parents, having a change of heart. You have 20-year-olds, that started companies valued at $20 million, in Yaba, and you have parents that have worked for 20 years and are not worth $1 million. So there's a total shift that has happened, and I think all of us can see it, no matter how old you are. So I don't think that sentiment exists.
Today, we've come to a point where we need to allow children to express who they truly are. The more true you are to your calling, the more successful you're likely to be. So gone are the days where we restricted children to just engineering, medicine, law, to these days about what they feel good about, what they want to do, because the needs are many. Art in itself is a form of expression, as I said, but more importantly, they're able to express it in the ways that these young artists have done, and there's an economic value to it. There's people wanting to buy their art, and that in itself inspires them to do more, and the more they're celebrated in exhibitions such of this nature, then there's a stronger provenance for the art, and you find that the artists grow. Some artists are recognized long after they're gone, but be the prayer that you're recognized whilst you're alive, and that's what we're trying to do today, to recognize these young artists whilst they're alive. And what would it do? It will inspire others to do the same. And for 1952 Africa, to its good works, I would end with the words of Reverend Father Keller, who said, "A candle loses nothing by lighting another." And that is precisely what 1952 Art Africa is doing.
According to the organizers, the program is dedicated to promoting raw and authentic African art, culture, and history, and supporting all forms of artistic expression out of Africa.